Hey, I'm Sean from VMEcodiesel.com, and today I'm going to go over the oil cooler delete kit that has been installed on my truck. You guys have seen some videos on it. I've taken a lot of pictures of it, and I'm going to go through and show what comes in the contents. This is the HD kit that's inside of here, and I'm going to go through the theory, operation, and components. Now this is just set in here because this is going to be wrapped up real good, and it's not necessary to wrap this up while I'm doing this, but this is the HD upgrade. This is what it consists of. You get a 7-inch fan, and it's already going to be pre-installed. It's going to have the mounting brackets already installed as well. That way you can just pop this in, run your 2 screws in, and it's done. This is all ready to go for your Ecodiesel. So this is the HD upgrade. This is what you're paying for. I'll set this aside here. This is going to be your hardware kit. Comes with all your fittings, all the zip ties, everything that you need. We'll go through that in a little bit. You have your oil cooler hose. You're going to have your oil filter to start you out. This is going to be your attachment for your primary oil cooler, and this is going to be your included 7-inch fan, just like this one here. This one will go onto your intercooler. And here is your thermostat device. It's already ready to go, bracketed. Fittings are already installed, and this is oil rated tape. So and this here, this is going to be your oil filter housing. Thermostat's already installed. This is your thermostat relay kit. And then this plate here, this is your oil cooler delete plate. It's all ready to go, pre-terminated. This is patented. And this is your HD cooler right here. This is very heavy duty cooler. Okay, so this is your package contents. This is what you're going to get with your HD kit. Now this is where this is your factory oil filter housing. And in this kit, you're going to get 2 special gaskets. Now these gaskets, these are not silicone gaskets. These were made, they told them that they wanted the highest temperature oil rated gaskets that you can get. So you're going to get 2 replacements to replace your factory gasket here. That's going to go here, and you're going to get the one that goes here. Okay? These are going to last longer than the factory seal here. Now, let's start with the oil filter housing itself. This is off of my other Ecodiesel. You guys recognize it. This is a Caterpillar yellow. You guys have already seen that. Now, this is your oil in. This goes into your oil filter housing through the dirty side of your oil filter. And this is your coolant in, and this is your oil return. This actually doesn't do anything. It's just a hole in there, and that's it. Okay, so that's the operation of that. Now, one concern that I will address right now is people are concerned about the way that this would operate in cold and cold start climates. Coolant is sent through this channel right here, run up through the filter housing, over here to your, let's see, it runs through, yeah, it comes in right here Yeah, your coolant's going to come in through here and then come out through here through the plate and then up through to the back of your engine. So when you put the plate in, there's a groove right there. Alright, so this is going to fit perfectly there. So when the coolant comes in here through your block, this is where your block, it attaches to your block there. And then the coolant's going to run through here and come up and go back to your return line, back through the back of your cylinder head, around the back and up to the water pump. So coolant from your engine, this is the cold side, and the coolant will come in through here and come out through this hose. So this block here is already thermally regulated, and that's the way it was originally designed. The only thing that we're doing separately is taking that thermostat, or the oil cooler that's going to radiate and trap and store all the heat here, and we're going to relocate it. So this is still pretty much maintaining the same factory design. We're not blocking the coolant off, so you're still going to get coolant flow through here. So you can see that with the plate there are special grooves drilled through it so that it will line up with these grooves here, so you'll be able to get it aligned perfectly. Alright, so this plate here, this is going to come pre-done for you already. That way your installation will be pretty easy. These gaskets here will stick inside of that housing, so when you put this on and bolt it on, you're going to get a nice smooth machine surface. You don't have to worry about anything else. But this part here has its own patent, so this design is proprietary for D&J Diesel. And moving on, the next stage that your oil will go to is it will go right from this plate right to the oil filter housing. It'll go through the oil filter, which the really cool thing is this is a very generic filter. You can use any kind of oil filter that you want, like I've said in some of my other videos. And you can use an AMSOIL. AMSOIL makes one, Royal Purple makes one, STP, Fram. Everybody makes an oil filter that will be able to fit this housing. So no matter where you are when you're doing an oil change, you're going to be able to use and get a filter. Like I said earlier, you have your temperature sensor. This is all automatic. You never have to touch it. The wiring is super simple. It's very easy. There's enough wire in here. This is going to mount to your frame, and then the oil is going to come out, and it's going to go to this thermostatic control device. Now what was cool about this was during cold startup, you don't want oil going to these coolers and overcooling the oil. You want to raise your oil temperature up quickly enough, matching with the coolant, which we'll do here, so that your vehicle will hit its OBD ready status and go into closed loop. And also you'll get less, you'll have higher flow during more viscosity during cold start conditions, and more flow going to the upper cylinders. And since this has 4 camshafts, you want those the upper end of your cylinders to be oiled quickly. And that's what this does, is it prevents the oil from going to the coolers during the winter and getting too cold. So this is all automatic. It's a solid state device. You don't have to worry about it. This is going to install up there really close up to on your frame, right behind the bumper. Now this thermostat opens at 180 degrees, and until then it will just recirculate the oil back to your engine, and 10% of the oil when this valve is closed, 10% will still flow through the 2 oil coolers. That way, if there's any kind of airlock or any kind of flow problems, it would keep that flow still going. That way when this valve does open, everything's nice and smooth, and it's a good, nice smooth transition. Alright, so that's included. This is all included standard so far with their basic kit. This cooler here, this is a high flow, low restriction cooler. And I'll post more details about it later, but this cooler is not just a cooler. I believe it was 80,000 BTU just alone, but it has a crosshatch pattern so that the flow has to go through. It doesn't just go through straight. The flow has to go through at an angle, which will dissipate more efficiently. Now, the first couple of rows here, there is a built-in safety device for oil viscosity. When your oil is too thick, it will bypass this portion of the cooler and it will go through here and be returned. So even if something happened with this device, or your fluid was just too cold, you're still not going to restrict your oil flow through this cooler, which is really important where I work and where I drive and what I do. So if the oil is too thick and the viscosity is too thick, it will just pass through and be returned back through this thermostat device back into your engine anyway, which would bypass your HD cooler kit during the winter. So no matter what, you're going to have excellent cold weather performance. Now, when the oil, this thing does open up and the viscosity does reach the right temperature, then this will fully work. The oil will be able to flow fully through this. And when you install this on your truck, you will see that. This is a really heavy duty unit. Rocks aren't going to damage it. I'm pretty sure this is going to last the life of your truck. Okay. Now with the basic kit, you're going to get an extra fan kit. You're going to have all the hardware that you need to put it together. And you're going to have another fan. Alright, and this is a S-trim fan. What do they call that? The curved blades are more efficient and they draw less amperage than the straight blade design. And this is going to come standard. This is going to go in front of your intercooler, and which would be sandwiched between your heavy duty cooler here. And so you're going to have this behind your intercooler, then you're going to have your intercooler, and then you're going to have this fan on there. And it's all temperature controlled. I'll set that out of the way. And this is going to be the mounting kit to mount your heavy duty cooler to your intercooler. So inside you're going to get your repair or your installation manual. It's all color photos, step-by-step instructions. Everything is very well laid out and detailed for you. And you got some zip ties to route your hose there. And then you're going to have your instruction manual for your fan controller. These two rubber grommets here are for your intercooler to knock it back a little bit. You're going to need to, your intercooler will just have to be tilted back a little bit, but it's not a big deal. You're going to have two washers for that. With your Thermostat Fan Control Kit, you're going to have a couple of electrical accessories. This is a custom isolator washer for your oil filter housing to mount up against the frame. That way it'll protect against rust and galvanic corrosion, because this is aluminum and this one is steel. And then here you're going to have all of your push lock fittings. These are all, the reason why you're going to do a push lock is because of the sealing capabilities that it has. This surface here ends up sealing and having a better chance for less oil leaks than a threaded tape seal or a Teflon seal. This will give you longer life. Now, I've seen some concerns over push lock hoses leaking. Okay, that's fine. If you think that the hose is going to leak, then go down to your store and buy some hose clamps and you can clamp it. That's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. You can use all kinds of different types of hose clamps too. You can use your factory OE pinch clamps, or you can use a spring clamp. You can use any kind of clamp you want. That's not a big deal. But I have, I think, 25,000 miles on my kit right now, what you see here, and no leaks. If there was, it wouldn't be released. It wouldn't be being sold. And then you have enough self-tapping screws to finish and complete your install. And then you have enough hose, so if you buy the standard kit, the base kit for $850, and you don't know if you want to do the HD upgrade yet, you don't know what it'll do or how much it'll help you, then it doesn't matter. Either kit is going to come with enough hose to do either kit. So later on, you can install the base kit, but you'll still have enough hose later on. You can just keep it to upgrade later. So don't worry about the hose. You're going to have enough in this kit. So let me go over some of the principles again. No matter what, this oil that runs through this system, this simplistic complexity, is still going to be controlled by your own engine's thermal management system with its coolant. Coolant will still flow through this housing. It'll go from your block and then through and out, back through the original design, back through the back of your motor. Okay, so coolant will come in, come out, and this is your this is going to come back in, so this is out. Okay, so if you can see, so you're going to have your coolant coming from your engine, coming out like it normally would, and then this is also your out of your oil. So you can see that they're both lined up right next to each other. So your thermal capabilities are still there. Your coolant is still going to keep your cold oil warm at the same time that it's coming out. So your cold start capabilities are all still fully protected. Your viscosity is always going to be correct. Your oil pressure is always going to be correct because everything is low flow. So when the oil comes back in, it's going to go through your factory filter. So it'll come back through your factory filter housing, which will extend your factory oil filter's life. And I'm working right now to see what the extended drain interval would do. I did a video of some of my oil filter testing, and this filter here was still clean. It was still almost the same factory color. And this filter was nasty as heck, and it obviously stopped a lot of stuff. But depending on your aftermarket filter's capability, worst case scenario, at this point now, this housing is going to be clean. You're not going to have any kind of dirt building up in the bottom here and not draining all the way out, because the dirt and contaminants don't fully drain out of this housing. But now they will, because it's all going to be filtered before it even touches this factory filter. I'll put that there. Okay, well, let me talk about this HD cooler here. When you're going to add another cooler onto your system, you need to prevent restrictions as much as possible. It's very important for the oil flow to be maintained in its factory specifications. You have cold start, you have high RPM, idle, and high temperature. It all has to be maintained. And to do that, when you're adding a cooler, you're going to add an oversized secondary cooler, and this is called a tube and fin. This isn't a stack plate, and that way the oil doesn't have any restriction. Now, these aren't as efficient because the oil flows through them so quickly, and that's why you add a fan, is to increase that thermal dissipation that this can have. Now, what's cool about this fan, this thing right here, is this alone says it would handle 30,000 pound vehicle, but this is a little bit overkill for somebody who's going to be driving around town. This is specifically for people who are towing in the mountains. Or if you're in a really, really hot area like Arizona and Texas, those temperatures are always pretty extreme. If you guys buy the base kit and you figure out that your oil temperatures are a little bit over or they're uncomfortable for you, then upgrade to this. I mean, it's quick and easy. You just put this in, run the hose, and you're done. Really, really fast, really quick and easy. So I really like this. It turned out really, really well, and so that's enough about that. Let's see, what else can I talk about? So I pay attention to your guys' concerns on forums. I do read a lot of forums, even if I'm not a member of them, and your concerns are addressed. They are paid attention to. Whether you're on my Facebook channel, moparecodiesel.com, or you're on a forum, I do pay attention to things that you guys are concerned about and talk about. That's why I wanted to go through this with you today. Kind of make you a little bit more familiar with the kit and what you get. There are a lot of components with this, but when you put it all together, it's just it's really, really cool. I got a really amazing opportunity to be able to test this and help design it, and D&J Diesel's doing a lot of legwork and putting all this stuff together for you, and I mean, it's a lot of work. So I hope you guys appreciate the amount of effort that's gone into this, and the design, the research and development, and trying to make your guys' Ecodiesels run better and longer. So Andrew, this is your kit. I'm going to take care of it and clean it up so it's not a mess like this. But if you guys got any questions, just holler back at me on my Facebook or on YouTube, and I'll do the best that I can to help you. Thanks for watching.